Good afternoon, everyone. This is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews, and I am your literary ambassador. And today I have a special guest on my channel today. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hello, hello. First of all, let me thank you, Queenie, for having me, for doing this interview with me. It's just a pleasure to just meet you. And I heard so many good things about you. And then I
Thank
see
you.
all the good things that you're doing. I feel like I know you. I'm a Cita Maloon Gibson, alias Cita Gibson, alias the Empowerment Doc trademark.
Okay. What is your genre and what attracted you to this genre?
Usually it's nonprofit. It's more about empowering and leading people to the next level of their, whatever they're trying to do, just leading them and taking them to the next level, giving them that strategic plan or those stepping stones for success, just leading them there, taking baby steps until they could come all the way up and achieve that thing that they want to do, whatever that thing is for them, that it.
Okay. Tell us about your books and what's the inspiration behind each one.
Okay, I have to say that I have two books now that I am promoting because I've been in a lot of books, but I have two that I'm promoting now. One that I did years ago is called Growing and Empowering Future Leaders Now for Extraordinary Success. And then the other one is Joy Unspeakable Spiritual Jambalaya. And I have collab with the Professional Women's Network, which I've been a part of for the last 15 years. I am on their advisory board. And the recent projects that I've did with them that has been released was this, The Total Woman. And Linda Eastman, she is our editor and the founder of the Professional Women's Network. And then the second one is Leadership, Courage, and Confidence. And you can see my name was first on there. Leadership, Courage, and Confidence. And that's helping and empowering men and women to take steps, to courageous steps to get to their next level of success. Just helping them to be the best that they can be at whatever they are doing.
Okay. Would you
So
like to
let's start. Let's start with Joy Unspeakable Spiritual Jambalaya. Okay,
Yeah.
there's we just left April, and today's May 1st. I am so glad that we made it to May. I pray that everyone have whatever they want. And May is the fifth month of the year. And May, the number 5, signifies grace. So, I thank God for his grace and mercy because I need it every single day.
Yeah.
And we just left the April, which was National Poetry Month. Now, this little book that I wrote here, I call it a little book. I usually bless others with it when they purchase 2 or 3 of my books. I just give it to them. This is like my business card now. And you will get a copy of this for sure.
Thank you.
And what I want to read is, I want to read one of the poems that's in here. It's called A Sage. And when we talk about a sage, and that's usually what I do, I feel like I am a sage to many, to thousands, to hundreds. I'm retired twice, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on. The Sage, that's the name of this one, and it comes from Joy Unspeakable, a Spiritual Jambalaya. The sage. Sage is an herbal spice that makes some main cuisines better. Sage is a friend who encourages you and motivates you at a time when you feel all is lost. Sage is one who sees your vision and encourages you to make it happen. Sage is a silent friend who listens and hears when no one cares. Sage is a color that reflects contrast of pear or orange or pear or olive green, which now I think they call it chamouse instead of lime green. We called it that in our day. Like I said, sage is an herbal spice that makes some main cuisines better. I am a main cuisine. Why? Because the sage made me better. And at that time, I had a friend in Arkansas, and it signed Texarkana Stage is my preference. I have several stages, but now my stage is in Texas. Okay, that's it. So this book is powerful to me because I wrote it when I was called up to go to Iraqi Enduring Freedom to Iraq. But praise God, I didn't go. But during that time, I wasn't sure. My kids were not in high school, and I wanted them to have something. And those that I mentored through my military career, at that time, it was over 20 years of a military career. I wanted them to have a little something of me, but I believe sort of like a legacy. So this was my first project. I self-published it myself. And I think it would be a blessing to anyone that wants to read it. It encourages, it empowers. There's several different poems in there. I call it it was like a poetic journal. So there's several different things in there that people can read about. Now, one of the things I am going to talk about, you know that I am retired. I retired from a very successful career in the military and in the federal sector. Retired twice, really. God has blessed me with that. It wasn't easy, and I didn't get there on my own. I got there because of those that went before me, that set the path for me, and just made it easy for me. Now, we still need to have individuals that need to help others to get where they want to go. Growing and Empowering Future Leaders was written out of what I call a lack. Even though there were others like Sojourner Truth, who paved the way for many of us. Some of my other mentors, like I would say, General Adams Ender, who was the first chief of the Army North Corps, General Colin Powell, everybody knows General Powell. And I have to give a shout out to a general friend of mine in the Corps, which was an inspiration, General Robert Crair. These were people that made pathways for others. And recently, I just reconnected and general mentor, when I say mentor, someone that set the pace, set the standards based on their leadership style, their characteristics. General Bostic, General Tom Bostic, he just released a book. I'm so excited about it. It hasn't come to print yet, but I'm so excited about reading it because he was one that did a whole lot to pave the way also for young officers in the military and for civilians in the federal sector. And I want to give a shout out to the chief, Clay Horton. I work in diversity and inclusivity for years in Department of Defense as a manager, and not only in Department of Defense, Department of Treasury, Department of Homeland Security, and those were all consecutive promotions here, there, and everywhere. And then I decided okay, enough is enough. I need to, I don't want a 9 to 5 anymore. I want to make my own time. And I want to be able to empower and encourage others on my own terms. Therefore, I created, prior to the retirement, what is called ATIC and MG Center for Excellence. And under that falls MGAA Professional Development Institute, which is the for-profit side. And the nonprofit is ATIC and MG Center for Excellence, which is a 501c3 now. We finally got a 501c3 because I decided that's the best way to file for it. So I thank God for that. And like I said, I didn't get here on my own. I had, friends that supported me. I have a supportive family, and I tell you what, my faith is what got me where I am today. Because everything that I did, at that time, and even now, I pray about it. I ask God to lead me. I ask God to lead me. I ask Him to order my step. And then sometimes you have to say, Lord, just forgive me. You know what I'm thinking, just forgive me. And, and He orders my step. And sometimes He assigns you to specific people. Those of us that have a calling, we know the people that we are assigned to in the ministry realm. I am not a pastor, but I do have a calling for evangelism, and my calling there is to feed the homeless and clothe the naked. Matthew 25. That's what I do. That's it. I'm not going to bury you. I'm not going to marry you. But if God leads me to do that, I will. I can. Okay, so I'm going to let you ask a couple of questions because I know you want me to tell you everything, but sometimes I get carried away. You're going to have to ask me a couple more questions. We could talk about this one here, growing and empowering future leaders. What you want to know about this one?
Okay, tell me about, you said your joy book, it has a spiritual jambalaya. What does that mean, a spiritual jambalaya?
Yeah, it's called a spiritual jambalaya. A spiritual jambalaya is just like a Louisiana jambalaya, but better. It has a little bit of this and a little bit of that in it. It talks about vision. It talks about your purpose. It talks about defining your calling. And it's small, but there's an area in here where my base scripture for this was Habakkuk 2:1-3. Habakkuk 2:1-3. That's the accent in me. So some people say, "Oh, where's she from?" I'm from the Virgin Islands, so you're gonna have to adapt to the accent. And I do speak a couple other languages, which I don't share too much with folks. I just let them talk, and then I let them know what and let them know. Okay, so when we talk about spiritual jambalaya, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. This portion that I'm going to show you here, it's about developing your vision. You could have a vision, but if you have a vision and you don't take action on it, all it is it's really dead, because faith without works is dead. And then if you have a vision and you don't do the works to implement and get to where you want to do, to what your calling was, then it's really nothing. It's just a wish. Yeah. So for vision and action involves you developing a plan, making a commitment, share your vision only with trusted people. We got a lot of people that, we say, oh, that's my ace, that's my this, and that's my that. But you might share it with them, and if they don't see what's in it for them, then they're going to leave you alone. They're not going to be there with you. When you're broke, busted, and disgusted, they don't want you. And then when you start, elevating, and you move from a Volkswagen, so I'll say a Cadillac. Everybody wants to jump in the Cadillac at that time. But when you were driving the Volkswagen, the hoopty, they didn't want to be with you at that time. So you only share it with those close, friends. And if you tell me you have 100 close friends, I'm going to tell you you're not telling the truth. My list, as I rose, as I elevated, my list and my circle gets smaller and smaller. And I love it like that. Now I have a lot of followers on Facebook. I want to empower them. I want to grow them. But as you don't share all that stuff with people. You just have your top 10. Sometimes it's only a top 5, maybe it'll be a top 3. Mine's is, very tight now, almost like 5 tight. So, and then you have to have a mentor. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. Well, some presidents probably didn't have mentors, but I don't care if you're the president of the United States. You should have a mentor, an advisor, someone that you could bounce off of, even if it's just, texting or writing before you do something. And then make goals. So at first I said you develop the plan, you make a commitment to, okay, this is what I'm called to do. This is my vision. This is my purpose. And then you make goals that are realistic and attainable. Now, I see a lot of things, for example, I know a lot of folks, but I'm not close with them. But I know if you're going to tell me you're a multimillionaire or you're a millionaire, You're not gonna be trying to nickel and dime me for
Mm-hmm.
a book. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be careful when you post stuff like that. I worked for the Department of Treasury a long time. I didn't work in the collections or acquisition or collecting taxes or anything. But I had friends that worked there, and they told me, I said, where you find these people that don't pay the taxes? And this one girl said, on Facebook, all of them that said are millionaires, and then when they file the taxes, they're making $50,000 a year. Uh-huh. Shut your mouth. That's a lesson for a lot of people if you're listening to this. If you're whatever you're making, just tell them what, you don't have to tell anybody. Just don't tell them you could get them to millions and you're not a hundred, you're still 100, you're not 1,000 yet. So make goals that are realistic and achievable. Now, when I wrote this book, I wasn't going to say, oh, yeah, I'm making XYZ or anything like that. But I set some realistic goals. I set milestones. I was an engineer, so I know how to really set milestones. And certain things can be done unless, certain steps are created. Like if you're building a house, you can't put the roof on before you have the foundation on. You can put you cannot connect the electrical wires unless you put them on the ground, or the plumbing. You can't do all that. You can't put the roof on and then try to do the foundation. So the structure. So then reward yourself. I had a hard time doing this in the beginning, rewarding myself, but I love to reward myself now all the time. Even if you said you was baking a cake, I love lemon cake, but I haven't eaten a lot. But I found a really nice lemon recipe online, and I baked that cake, and it was so delicious. But if you're gonna bake a cake, right? To reward yourself, don't eat it all by yourself. Get some neighbors, send some to some of the senior citizens or something. But reward yourself. And my rewards now is I love to go to the spa. I love to be spoiled. I love to be loved. I love to be spoiled. So the spa is my place where I go. That's one of my goals. And remind yourself that quitting is not an option. A lot of people, when they start a business, I was in business for like what, 8 years almost, and really didn't make a dime, but I was investing in myself. I invested in people that helped me get better. And then I saw, and not everybody. I had to look at the track record, those people that I was looking at, and I was investing, my resources, and investing don't always have to be dollars. You invest your time. Like I invest my time in my church. Your time is the most precious thing. So when you invest in your time listening to somebody like us, that's an investment, of our time that we are giving and sharing with you. So don't quit because you're not there yet. It's not going to happen overnight. It is not going to happen overnight. I'm going to say it again. It's not going to happen overnight. The stairways to success is not taking an elevator. You got to take step by step by step, and baby steps sometimes. But by all means, keep moving, even if you have to crawl, but don't quit. So quitting is not an option. So that's what I talked about. And then in here, there was some practical exercise where they could talk about doing what their destiny is and so forth, how to develop the plan, and then I have year 1 through year 10. I have year 1, 3, 5, and 10. So some people ask me 1 and 10, because as you grow, your goals shift. Whether they shift up, you might have to back step maybe in order to move up again, but your goals shift. A lot of people, I always have this presentation, I talk about your backup plan. I heard one famous person say, I don't have a plan B. Well, you might not have a plan B because you're a multimillionaire, but the general populace should have a plan B. A lot of businesses, and several that I've went into and talk about, backing up your backup plan and some strategies for your 5-year plan. I got a couple of calls during COVID. They thanked me and they asked me about some other strategies that they need to survive during COVID. And I told them about it. So the bottom line is you should have a backup plan, because your backup plan should have not been the PPP. But if you got it, thank God, it should have been that. Your backup plan is every time my dad used to say this, every time you make $1, you save a dime. You do that for your family, but you also do it for your business. You have, if you're selling products, whatever that product is, that's a product account. And if you just have one account and you don't have separate account for, like, say, your products, for like your books, your workshops, or even your speaking engagements, then you put it lump sum, but you do not extract from it unless you're going to put back into it. So you have to develop a financial plan. You back up your business with a financial plan. Now, you're not going to have a whole lot, but if you have employees, you don't want your employees to go without any checks. That's where the PPP became very important during this COVID season. So that's it. And it set some goals also, by the month, you do things by monthly and so forth. So that's enough about Joy Unspeakable, a Spiritual Jambalaya. And this is on my website, www.citagibson.com. All my books are on there, www.citagibson.com or www.empowermentdoc.com. Now, if you want to inbox me directly on Facebook, you can inbox me. A lot of people like to do that, and I get a lot of inboxes, on Facebook. And I will give you the link on how you can pay through PayPal. I don't do Cash Apps now. I do PayPal because it keeps me accountable. So, so all the books I'm going to talk about here, you can direct message me. And if you buy 2 or 3 of either one of these, then you get you get this free. You could buy this by itself also, and I'll tell you how. And if you buy 3 or more, I pay all the shipping and handling. So you don't have to pay, and you get it in a timely fashion. Okay, so let's talk about growing and empowering future leaders. Let my host ask me another question.
Okay, what is PDI and what does it do, or what it stands for?
PDI, Professional Development Institute. So, or your professional development, some people call it individual plan. And if you're talking about this, an IDP is an individual development plan. Every working person should have an individual development plan. And if your supervisor hasn't created one for you, you need to call me and I'll help you. I'll give you a 15 minutes free coaching, and we'll help you put one together, because that is all about growth. If you're still in the same position that you were 20 years ago, and I'm not talking about teachers, because teachers are a unique, special gift. When my kids' teachers asked for something, I gave it to them. I exceeded whatever they asked for. But you should have an individual development plan, and that individual development plan helps you to grow. It tells your supervisor what you have in mind, what your vision is, and where you want to go, how you want to grow. Now, when I was, that's why this was developed. When I was coming through the ranks, and when I was in civil service, they always tell you, we don't have funding for that. Well, they don't have funding for that. Oh, we don't have money for that. We don't have money for this. Now we're in a different season. There shouldn't be a problem. They should be able to bring somebody in that's a visually certified speaker, and, get the employees trained. We can break you out in different Zoom rooms and so forth. So the training, if you're in the federal sector or you're in Office of Personnel Management, if you're a teacher, the Labor Department and Office of Personnel Management authorize you up to 30 hours of professional training, whether they pay for it or not. What I used to do is empower my employees and let them take 1 or 2 hours during the end of the day. I usually give it to them at the end of the day where they can work on a project, on whatever it is that would help them to grow and become better to work in the workforce. So you need to ensure that you and your supervisor have this conversation. It's not a difficult conversation. You have to have the conversation of, how am I going to grow? Okay, I'm a teacher right now, but my goal is to become the superintendent. Okay, and some of them don't want to hear that because they're competing with you, and some teachers have more experience and more education than some of the folks that they work for, and they will try to suppress you. Yeah, when I say suppress you, sometimes it's not intentional, but that, the biases that they have out there, like, what you want to do? What, become a superintendent? Yeah, you better watch yourself. No, if you want to grow, you do that. And if they don't help you, you get somebody else that can help you, and you invest in yourself. There's a lot of free training out there, but if you have a coach, a mentor, or trainer or speaker that will come in, somebody like me, they can help give you those stepping stones to your success and help you to get there without spending your whole annual salary. They can help you to get there by giving you the tools and and even pairing you with a mentor in your career field. And then at the time when it's necessary, I may have a sponsor for you in the superintendent's office. So I coach, I mentored, I trained you, I moved you up. And I might not be in the school system, but I could connect you with someone who is. And that's called a sponsor. Any career field that you're in, I use a teacher as an example. You should be able to have 2, 3 things: a coach, a mentor, and a sponsor. And they all have different roles. And when you do get a coach or mentor, I don't mentor too many people now, because I always give them a contract. If I am coaching you, I'm investing my time in you because I see possibilities. I see possibilities for you, and you tell me what you want to do. I can't do the work for you. I'm just coaching you through it, making sure that you can do the things. I am holding you accountable. And if I give you an assignment once, okay, once, that's good. But the second time you don't do that assignment, I think, it's time for me to just release you. I'm just that abrupt. Bam, oh, bye. Yeah, because that means you're not serious about the time that I'm investing in you. So this book, Growing and Empowering Future Leaders, is for coaches, for mentors, for sponsors, for mentee. And it's in 3-dimensional. And not only that, it has a glossary in the back that tells inside in the back that have websites that you could connect to, regardless of whatever career that you're in, that you can connect to and get some of the free resources that you can use to elevate yourself to your next level. And I am glad that I've done it. And I do have some of the different sections of it on CD, but I don't know who all have CDs now, because I don't even have one. I have one on my computer. But if you have a CD, I have one for you. And you can get some of that information on the CD, and you can listen to it while you're driving. So the next one I want to talk about is I'm gonna let you ask me questions about this one.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so for leadership, courage and confidence. That's what we all need. And in this chapter here, leadership, courage, and confidence, I actually talk about, my chapter is on, there you can see it there, a spiritual perspective. And it highlights those things that we need to do holistically, not only in our careers, not only in our leadership position, but in our family. I always tell people, the 5 F's for me is my faith first, my family second, the finances have to be straight, and then you have friends, and then you must have fun. A lot of people snapping now. I'm talking about fun. A lot of people snapping now. I was just like bored, almost crazy, because I'm a type A person and I've been locked up. My sister and I haven't traveled. I haven't traveled since March of 2020. We had just come back from Jamaica where they tell us, we got to stay locked down. And believe it or not, I stayed locked down. But I am ready to go and get some. I live in the best place where people come to visit. I live. They come to Florida to visit. I live in Florida, but the beaches in Florida aren't like the beaches in the Virgin Islands, in Aruba, in Jamaica. So I like to tell people, I'm coming to Florida for vacation. I said, I live where you come for vacation, But and that's just a joke. I'm not just throwing it, I'm just throwing it as a joke. But when we talk about leaders and leadership, leaders have to be courageous. When I say courageous, you have to be able to take risks. And when we talk about a spiritual lens, in this age now, a lot of preachers, pastors, clergy members, parishioners, everybody shook up about COVID. And we are watching the leadership. And sometimes the leadership may not have to be at the top. Leadership could be at the bottom. Leadership could be in the middle. There are different levels of leadership. You don't have to have a PhD to be a leader. The leadership is the influencer in any organization. That's how I see it. The leadership is the influencer in any organization. You may have a strong influencer, mid-level career staffer that can take the whole organization up to the next level or bring the whole organization down. But I look as leaders in any organization as situational, meaning they can be in any level of the organization that could help the organization to grow. And the reason I say that, those leaders have to be very courageous because they have to go against the status quo. I was one of those people, one of those soldiers sometimes, and one of those individuals within different organizations and on boards of directors where I served. I wasn't a yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I was one that sometimes go against what the organizational quote status is, because a lot of people didn't want to change. And a lot of people even now does not want to change. They do not want to change. They want to change that mindset. They want to say, we did it that way. I can't wait till we get back to how things were. Well, wake up. Hello. Things are not going to go back to how they were. You need to step up and learn how to Zoom. You need to step up and learn how to live stream. You need to step up and get with it with technology. I am not a techie person, but I'll hire somebody to do my technology. If you can't do it, hire the help. There's help out there to do everything. And if you can't do it, you hire the help. And you have to have confidence, especially now. You can't be weeping all the time and woe is me and be the weeping prophet like Jeremiah and say, hey, I don't know if we're gonna make it. If we're gonna make it, I don't want to be around anybody that has those negative vibes. I have to be encouraged, and I seek encouragement, number one, from God, and then I have a couple inner circle friends that I can text or call on or call me daily and just say, hey, how you doing? So that's what this book is about. And shout out to all the co-authors They have done a marvelous job. I'm going to put it up so some of you can see who's in it. And it was edited by our founder, Linda Eastman. And that's the Professional Women's Network. Now, you buy this book from me, you don't have to pay the shipping and handling. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, and that's it. And then I think, did I talk about this? The total woman,
Yeah, ma'am.
the total woman. That's today's woman. Let's look at what couple days ago, our president gave his 100-day report card. That's what I call it, right? State of the Union address. And behind him, for the first time in history, were two women, the Speaker of the House and the first Vice President, female, African American, Asian American, just American, was sitting behind him. The total woman is that woman that, sometimes men will think is too assertive, and even women will think it's too assertive. I've had somebody said to me when I was younger and I had just come into, I've always been a Christian, but I just come into knowing myself and building a closer relationship with God, and stuff like that. And I was working, and they say, you shouldn't be doing so much, you military ladies, and y'all want to be everything. You should just stay home and get kids, that barefoot pregnant and home, just being home alone all the time. It doesn't work in today's society. It takes two people. It takes the man and the woman. And I'm telling you what, every queen out there has a king, and every king should have a queen that support them. And if you don't have one that supports you, you can find one that will, because it's not 50-50 anymore. It's whoever gets into the relationship and can do the best they can. They do the best they can, because the roles, if you look at some of your friends and your neighbors now, the roles reverse. Yes. A lot of those stay at home, and it's nothing wrong with being a stay at home. I did it for a year. Okay. It's nothing wrong with being a stay at home, but it comes a point and a time in a relationship that if a man or woman is not working, they have to take up the slack for each other. I don't care if it's flipping pancakes. If I had to do that to help my family, feed my family, that's what you have to do. We all come from different backgrounds, socioeconomic. I always say African American women are strong Black women, because they could take a can of beans and a bag of rice and make it go a long way. That's with my mother. Yes. And they could take a can of salmon, make salmon balls after that. They can feed 6 people and you still ain't gonna be hungry, because they got rice, macaroni and cheese, plantains, and everything. So, and I think most women can do that. I just didn't want to single out, but I'm an African American woman, so I'm speaking from my experience. Yes. But we know how to work it, and most of us strong Black women will go out there and do anything for our family, and not only our regular family but our extended family. And some males have a problem with strong women, period. That total women, they have a problem with strong women because they want to control them. Now, I believe in submission. I think that I know one person, that's the only verse that they know in the Bible. I ain't gonna say who it is. They believe in that, wives, submit to yourself to your husband, but they don't read the whole sentence. As you submit unto Christ. Now, I tell you what I believe in. I love to cook, so I'll cook every day if I have to, but I don't want anybody to make me a prisoner in my own home, in my job. If I'm volunteering on a board, I don't want just to be on a board so you could say, oh, we have had our quota, female, Black, Islander, we made it. That's what one guy said to me in a book. No, I don't want to. If I don't have a voice on the board, I don't accept the position. That's the bottom line. And I'm going to say that for those ladies that's out there. If you want to be a total woman, you have to have a voice. You can't just be sitting in a position and looking all cute, fancy, and when they say something that's out of character. I don't let anybody use the N word in front of me, and I don't let them disrespect me as a woman, because they did it a couple of times when they say something, and I'll ask them a question: you treat your mama like that, your wife, your daughter? Just put it back in their lap. I like to say, just hit the ball back in their court. Don't disrespect them. Just ask them that one question. So that's it for the total woman. I feel like I'm a total woman. I'm a balanced woman. I like to say that I'm balanced. And I think all of us need balance. And something I want to talk about, it's health care. It's our health. Your health is your wealth. I don't care how much money you have, whether you have $1 or $1 million. Your health is your wealth. And I like to say this because I heard this from a miner, a guy that owned a mine in West Virginia. He won the lottery. He won like $263 million. He was already a millionaire, but he had cancer, terminal cancer. He only had one daughter and one granddaughter. And when he won that $263 million, he had just decided to shut the mine down. So they asked him what he's going to do with all that money. He had like 60 some odd employees. He said, I'm going to make each of my employees a millionaire. And then I make each of my employees a millionaire and close the mine down. And he said, I have all this money and I would give the money up to just have good health. He said, I can buy the best doctors, but that doesn't guarantee me good health. We have to take care of ourselves. I'm not telling anybody what to do about the COVID shots or whatever, but listen to the news. You make a decision and stay healthy. I'm going to wear a mask. You ain't coming in my house. Somebody came to my house the other day, knocking on my door, and I'm looking at them. I'm sitting right here and I'm looking at them, and they're waving and doing like this. I said, hey. And then I just pushed the ring, the ring. I have the ring, and I just say, we are not accepting any solicitation. Did you read the sign in the neighborhood? And I'm not opening my door. I don't know you. I didn't invite you. God bless you. That's it. I could see who all comes up to this. They come over. No, I ain't opening my door. I don't know you. And they didn't have a mask on, number one, So anyway, that's all, that's all, a little joke right there. But it's the truth. It's the truth. That's what happened. I love that you have this forum, Miss Queenie Clemens. I love that you have this platform for people to come on and share their voice. I commend you for doing this. And I told you the other day when I first spoke with you, I said, man, this is a challenge. This is something I would love to do, if I had that calling, but I don't have that calling. So when you can't do the technology yourself, you invest in yourself. Call Miss Queenie Clem over here. And she is booked up, I think, almost to the end of the year, probably. Yeah, she's booked solid. And we'll see each other again when Allison Daniels promotes her book. And she'll have each of us on there. We'll be able to talk about and speak about our chapters and talk about our books. And it's just an exciting time. You can be in COVID, and I'm going to leave you all with this word. You can be in COVID, but you still can be successful. You have to determine what success is to you. And then you take the baby steps to get there. You are the only one that controls your destiny. If you decide to shut down and, get all in a depressed mode, find somebody that will pull you out, or get somebody that's licensed in mental health. I have my mental health degree, but I'm not licensed because I didn't plan on going there. I just wanted to have the mental health background. And but I have friends that are in there that are psychiatrists and psychologists. My training is in social psychology. I'm a social butterfly. So I thank God for where he brought me. And my story was from the pit to the palace, Joseph's story. But one thing Joseph didn't do, he didn't stay down. He came back up. Okay, that's all I have. You can ask me all the questions you want to. I'm just so blessed to be here. I'm just asking God to bless and enlarge your territory and just take you where you want to go as he orders your step. I thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. What projects are you currently working on right now?
Right now, I am working on another. This is a trilogy, and I am working on it's called The New Female. I am working on that right now. It's actually today, it's a day of closure on it for submitting our chapters, May 5th. And my chapter is on mentoring in the code during COVID. Talk about mentorship, the importance of mentorship. And I've always had that in my mind, because when I was coming up through the ranks, I didn't have anybody that said, come here, this is how you had to do it. I was an engineer for 24 years, and I had a few people, but there wasn't anybody that looked like me that would pull me on the side and help me and mentor me up. So all that I'm doing now, it was as the result of a lack that I had when I rose up. I had mostly white male mentors. And they told me that after you make captain, you might not make it up the ranks. You may as well get out. I didn't. I took the initiative to empower myself. I got the resources. I went to the library. I stretched out. I was courageous. I stretched out to people that I liked what they was doing. There were only a couple Black males that I stretched out to, and they helped me. At the time they were lieutenant colonels, so they told me what to do. And then by the time I made it to lieutenant colonels, they were general officers, and they still continued to mentor me. So I say, talking about mentoring is very important now, because out of sight, out of mind. And those that stay connected with their supervisor, you have that individual development plan that outlines your goals and objectives. Those are the ones that's going to rise to the top. And I say this to men and women now: if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Take the initiative, invest in yourself, give me a call, okay? 321. And then I'll let them post it. I ain't gonna say my number, they'll blow it up.
Okay. Where can we find you and your books again?
You can go to www.citagibson.com or www.empowermentdoc.com. And if you go to www.inspire, lead, grow, that's basically what I'm doing now through a variety of different things, John Maxwell. But you can go, if you really want to hire me as a speaker, you could come directly to me or go to espeakers.com. And they will be able to tell you all about me. You can look up my stuff on espeakers.com, and they will be able to give you some information about me, and you will see you'll see my bio and everything on there. But you can Google me. I'm Cita Maloon Gibson, Dr. I'm Cita Maloon Gibson. I'm on social medias, all social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm not on Clubhouse. I don't even know what they do on Clubhouse. Just keeping up with those four is enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So,
all
but
right.
I thank you. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And And it's a pleasure. I was just so excited this morning. And you're supposed to be anxious for
Very
nothing, but I was.
insightful.
Huh?
The information you gave us was very, very insightful, and I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right.
And
Would
I'm
you
gonna
like to
get
show your
down. I'm gonna
one
get
more
down to
time?
South Carolina, but when I get down to South Carolina, I'm gonna say, "Hey, Miss Queenie, I ain't gonna speed." Now you could take that how you want to.
Would you like to show your books one more time, the cover?
Absolutely. I'm gonna start with the first one, my first project, which was Joy Unspeakable, a Spiritual Jambalaya. And it's in reference, it's I would say a poetic sort of more poetry and prose, and the sage is what's all about. And then we'll go to growing and empowering future leaders right there.
Okay.
Now this one is on Google, but you would save $5 and shipping and handling if you order it directly from me.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. And then this is a collaboration with the Professional Women's Network, but you'll save on shipping and handling if you order it from or direct message me on Facebook.
Okay.
When I say Facebook, I mean, what's that? Messenger.
Okay.
And the same with this one, the Total Woman. All products of the Professional Women's Network. And we each have a chapter in it. And you can see all our photos. Usually it's about 25 to 30 of us in one book. And we all have our own. If you go to the Professional Women's Network, you'll see us listed on there, and it tells you a little bit about the books. But most of the books that, like I said, that I am involved in, they are towards growing and empowering future leaders and making us better. When I say us, anybody, male or female. And as Mother's Day approaches, the one thing that women like a lot of things, but one thing that you can give them that will last them for a lifetime is wisdom. And this could be a package deal here. All four of them, this could be a package deal here. You inbox me and I'll tell you how much. And you don't have to do shipping and handling.
All right. Well, thank you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you again. You've been a blessing to so many of us. And I want to thank you for being an everyday servant leader. You're an educator. I always loved all my teachers. I didn't have no teacher that I didn't like. And they used to, I remember Miss Carty, I'm going to close with this. Miss Carty used to always put me in a corner and facing the wall and would always tell my dad, she talks too much. I wish she was alive, but her grandson keeps in touch with me. He's about 40 something, right? He said, my grandmother liked you. I said, yes, she did. She kept me in that corner all the time. She said, I talk too much, so she was a blessing to me, Miss Card. All my teachers were, but I loved her the most.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in. Again, this is Queenie Clem with Queenie's Book Talk and Reviews. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.